Hello and welcome back to BI Publisher Basics and Beyond. In this lab, we would look at certain concepts and terms used in BI Publisher. So we would look at the terms like data definition, templates. We will also do a lab. How do we register a template and how do we tie a template to the data definition and everything. So before we start, all the files for this chapter are available for download. You would see a zip file with the name BIP 001-slip, which has all these files. You will be able to download it right below this video. So let's get into the key terms that are used in the BI Publisher. So we would be going to look deeply at these specific terms like data definition. What is a data template? A template, a concurrent program, XDOTEXE, output post processor. Before we get into the terminologies, I just want you to be refreshed on how the report works. So your data resides in your database. There is a data extraction layer that would extract the data. Then there is a data formatting layer which will format the data. Then you have a presentation layer where the data is being presented. Then you have the delivery mode, how the reports are to be delivered. So what is the data definition? So you can see the data definition is right here. So data definition connects your extraction program, which is the concurrent program in the case of XML Publisher, to your template. Or in other words, your data definition connects your presentation layer to your data layer. So what is a data template? So data template is an XML-based data extraction method which uses kind of direct SQL to extract your data from your database. So data template is it's a data extraction mechanism similar to an RDF or a PL SQL. So what is a template? So template helps you to define your presentation layer. So here's your template. You can see that there's a template here, and you can have multiple template definition for the same data definition, which means that I can have the output be presented in an Excel format, a Word format, a summarized format. So your data is extracted once and it can be presented in multiple ways. So what is a concurrent program? So concurrent programs are batch jobs that would retrieve data from your database, and basically it pushes data between Oracle application and the database. So your concurrent program would be connected to your template through the data definition. The concurrent program will have the SQLs or all the code that would fetch the data from your database. What is XDOTEXE? XDOTEXE is a Java concurrent program. It's primarily used for data template. In simple terms, data template gets you allows you to enter SQL statements to extract the data in XML format with minimal coding, I would say. So you can see that XDOTEXE, you will define it as, you don't have to define an executable when you would use XDOTEXE. You would use directly in the executable. I'm assuming that you are familiar with the defining of the concurrent programs at this point. What is output processor? So once the concurrent program is executed and once the data is extracted in XML, the concurrent manager would then passes the control over to the output processor. So processor is then responsible for taking your XML data and merging it with your template to generate the desired output. So let's look at let's look at uh, just one more time. So we have we have your data. Your data is connected. Your data is extracted using your RDF, PL/SQL, or Java concurrent programs, or it can be using the XDOTEXE. XDOTEXE uses data templates. Once the so the concurrent request has a short name. The short name is tied to your data definition. The data definition connects your templates, and when the concurrent request is ran, it the the output processor takes the output of the concurrent program and would merge it with the XML based on the definition. Let's look at some screenshots for registering the executable. So I would assume that you are familiar with the Oracle application navigation. So you would access the system administrator, concurrent program define. So you would define concurrent program. Here there are two things we have to remember here: the application name, which is right here, and the short name, the concurrent program short name. These are very critical here. Of course, you may have to select your appropriate execution method. So if you're using an RDF based execution extraction, you would be using Oracle reports. The file name, the executable file name is your program or your RDF file name. So if you're using an RDF file, make sure your RDF file is stored in the right location, which points to the application. So if you're using XDOTEXE, it's a Java, as I mentioned before, it's a Java concurrent program specifically designed for processing data template. So when you use an XDOTEXE, you don't have to specify an executable. You would be directly using that XDOTEXE within the concurrent definition executable. So in order for you to register a concurrent program, you would go through the navigation of concurrent program define. If it's an application developer, you would go through the concurrent program. So you make sure you enter your program name, your short name, which is critical. Application name is another critical part. Executable, which you have defined before. It can be the XDOTEXE or the executable that you defined before. And the output format has to be XML. So far we have registered the executable. We have seen the screenshot of how do we register executable. Can be either a PLC. The sample we were looking at was an RDF and an XDOTEXE. So we have refined the concurrent program. Make sure you have the short name and the application name, which are key to this processing. So let's go and look at how do we register a data definition. So you should have access to XML Publisher Administration. From home, you go to Data Definition. You click on Create Data Definition. So you're going to enter the name. So by default, the practice that I've seen is you would enter a name similar to what you have defined for your concurrent program, and you would append it. You would end with the DD at the end. So for example, if my program is defined as my test program, your data definition would be my test program DD or data definition VF space. The code should refer back to the same code that you used for your concurrent program. So and the code should exactly match your concurrent program short name. The application should match your concurrent program that's registered to. Click apply. So I'm just trying to connect these two. So we have a application. The application should match. The short name should match to the data definition. How do you register a template? So we have the XML publisher administrator, home templates, create template. Here's the screen for creating template. You enter your name. Normally name is written similar to the data definition, with the exception that if you have a PDF template, you put a PDF, or depending on the output, you change the name accordingly, because you can have multiple uh, templates for a data definition. So the code doesn't have to match with the data definition. The code doesn't have to match because you are connecting the data definition here. So let's take an example here. So we have a data definition and we have a short code here. So the template definition, I have defined it as TP, but normally I would say, if depending on the output, I would say, okay, concurrent program, TP, the output is PDF, so it will be PDF. The application has to match, and the data definition name should tie in together. So the data definition should tie in, the name should be pulled in. So let's look at the where we are today. So we have defined the execution method through the exe concurrent executable. We have defined the concurrent program short name. We have defined the data definition, which has the same short name as concurrent program. You tie templates to the data definition. That's pretty much it. How do you connect all this? So when you submit your request, so make sure your concurrent program is tied to your the corresponding request group. So when you submit your template, you would see this layout. You have you can click on the options, and you can change the format if you want. By default, when we defined it, we said it's a PDF, but you can have the ability to choose the format. So here are some best practices that I've seen. Make sure you follow the Oracle's naming standards. You can have the concurrent program name. Your data definition should match the concurrent program short name. The template, for example, if it's a PDF, you do with underscore PDF. If it's an Excel template, you do XLS or XLS output. So you can have the your descriptive name as the test program DD. Depending on the output, you can describe your descriptive name to show what kind of output it's going to generate. So then you have data templates and basting control file, which we would look at it later on. So it's a good idea to match it with the concurrent program name followed by DT, the data template. And same thing, the bursting control file, it's a good idea to keep the bursting control file. So let's do a lab. So in the zip file that you have seen, there is an Excel file that's attached, which has the listing of all the steps that you would need to do. I'll try to flip between the Excel sheet that I have and the screenshots. Let me take you through that once. So here is the Excel sheet for the lab. So it has pretty much all these steps detailed. So we would go through these steps in a screenshots later on. But you would start with making sure that you have the right responsibility. If not, you add responsibility. So first step you would normally do is define executable. But for this lab, we are going to skip it, as we are going to use XDOTEXE. You're going to define a concurrent program. Here are steps for it. Then you're going to go and define a data definition. Here's the steps for it. There are some cautions here you got to watch for. Now you add your concurrent program to your request group. You choose the right request group where you want to test it. So you would run the program. So you would see the output in XML. Then you define your template. There is a template attached to this lab. You can use that. So you're going to define it in this in this format. Then you're going to then you're going to run the program again. So there's a couple you can add more templates to it. You can play with it. So once you define the templates, you basically go and run it and look at the output. That's pretty much it. Then you're going to check the output processor, and you're going to see what the output processor looks like. So let me take you through the screens one by one. So the first step, you would look at it, make sure you have the XML publisher administrator responsibility. Let's start with defining the concurrent program. So if you look at the Excel file, you would see that I have defined the steps for registering the concurrent program. We're going to use the XDOTEXE as an executable. So I've given the short name and the program name and the application. Make sure you select the application which is available for you. You select the output format as XML. Now go back to XML Publisher. You're going to click on once you access XML Publisher, you're going to click on Data Definition. You're going to click Create Definition. You're going to enter the name of the data definition with the DD at the end. Your code has to match to the concurrent program short name that you defined, and the application has to match the application that you defined for your concurrent program. So basically, it should match to your short name here and to your application here. Click Apply. Now we have to add the extraction part, which is we are using the data template here. So click on Add File. You click on Browse. You would be selecting there's an XML file called PGM. Click Open. So you can see that the template is uploaded. You can click Apply. The next step is to add the template. So you can see that at this point your data definition template is uploaded. So you go to Templates, click on Create Template, enter your name, your code, and make sure you pick the right data definition. The type refers to the type of the template file that's being used. In most cases, it's going to be RTF and Excel and text. We would cover those later. The default output, in this example, we are going to use PDF. So it's going to be, you have different choices how the output has to be. Most of the time I use Excel, PDF, rarely I use RTF. So at this point we are registering the template. At the bottom of the screen you would see the browse icon for file. Click on browse. You select the RTF file that I have registered. Click open. Select language as English and territory as United States. Definitely, when it's translatable, we will look at those things later. So you can have multiple files to the same data definition, in different languages. So you click Apply. So at this point, you would see a confirmation page showing that we have registered your template. Now I'm going to add the program to a request group. So for my simplicity, I choose XML Publisher. So I'm going to find which request group I need to add add it to. So I'm adding my program to my request group. So I'm switching back to I'm switching to the responsibility. I'm going to run the request. So you can see that the layout is automatically be populated. Click Submit. So the job is completed, and you can click Output. So you would see the PDF output. So how do I see the Excel output now? So in order to see the Excel output, you click on the request ID, click on diagnostics, You click on View XML. So you would see the XML popping up. So let's go ahead and look at the output processor. Let's note down the request ID. Now we go to System Administrator, Concurrent Manager, Administrator. Click on Manager, expand on Manager. Click on Administrator. You may have to scroll down to see Output Processor. Click on the processor. So you would see multiple active sessions. So your request ID can be in any one of these sessions. So you may have to go, one by one. So I'm going to pick the bottom one. Click on the manager log. So make sure you do a find on the request ID. So you would see that you'll see the description, details about the concurrent output processing. So in this example that we picked, there's no error or failure. So not much is given here. So it says processing. Otherwise, you would see some errors and everything. As we do more examples, we would see some errors, and we will be able to look at it. So that concludes the review. So this chapter was basically to give you an overview of the to give you a flavor of what the BI publisher is and how to connect the various components within the BI publisher and how do you extract the data from BI publisher. Hopefully this was simple and easy enough for you. So we will get into more advanced topics as we move along. So next we will look at some extraction methods using the templates. I'll see you later. Thank you.